On this episode of the Turnbuckle, Warner Brothers Discovery is working with AEW on figuring out new content that's not in a wrestling ring. Ethan Page agents his first AEW match, and he wants the longest career humanly possible in the company. Sammy Guevara is done focusing on negativity and won't comment on the Andrade AEW altercation. And WWE's new director of long-term creative, Rob Fee, already has massive backstage heat. Folks, it's time to hit a mushroom stomp into some wrestling news because it's time, that's right, for the Turnbuckle. Speaking with The Hollywood Reporter, Warner Brothers Discovery new U.S. Networks Group Chair and Chief Content Office Kathleen Finch talked about how scripted programming is still a focus of the company despite recent moves that would indicate otherwise. A goal is to find more programming that can hold the men viewing their networks for sports, and part of that strategy is shoulder programming off those sports. Enter AEW. We really, okay, quote, I'm trying to figure out who the fuck, this is Miss Finch. We really play in the sports space. One of the things that we're doing around sports is creating shoulder programming to hold on to those fans. AEW pulls huge numbers, so we are working with the wrestling team to figure out what new kind of content we can build that's not in a wrestling ring, she said. They did have the reality show Rhodes to the Top on TNT for one season before Cody and Brandy Rhodes left AEW. Sports rights, specifically as relates to AEW, were not mentioned. Finch also talked about having some of their popular crossover stars appear on other properties, using Charles Barkley and Guy Fieri as two examples. While not mentioning any AEW talent, it appears that might also be an option for any breakthrough and mainstream talent that is developed. Can you imagine Guy Fieri coming out and is like, I challenge you to a blood and guts match, you know, just something over the top, absolutely insane. Okay, Sammy Guevara, Guy Fieri, Sammy Guevara, lights out match, you know, just something absolutely off the wall. Okay, that'd be insane. So I keep saying the same stuff over and over again. I do like this though. There's just something about, it's like wrestling, and then someone comes in and it's like, hey man, what if you did more than that? You know, like what if you took your company that is already like off the wall and just made it even more insane? You know, like what if we expanded it, you know, even higher than it already is? You know what I mean? Like I don't know what is going to happen, and it really depends on what they do and how long it takes and the direction they decide to go in, you know, in terms of like what they want to do and like when they want to do it and all that sort of stuff. I mean, there's not really much I can say because I don't know what they're going to do. Man, I feel like I just repeated myself 3 different times. What just happened? Anyway, man, we really have to wait and see, but I'm excited because I just really like hearing about this stuff. I just like hearing about AEW. I mean, okay, wrestling as a whole. I really like hearing about wrestling as a whole, just sort of like growing and expanding and extending, there's the word, extending themselves out. You know what I mean? It's really good to hear. And I really like that they're specifically talking new content that is not in a wrestling ring. So listen. You got the wrestling. You got that. We understand that you're a wrestler. You're a wrestler. You do the wrestling. That's great. What I need from you is more than wrestling. What can you do outside of wrestling that is enough to bring in the fans, but not so much deter them? You know what I mean? Something that is going to, like, shoulder programming, basically. If I'm using that term correctly. Let me see. Hold on. Shoulder programming. Can I look that up? What does that mean? Let me see. Shoulder programming is a type of pre-event and post-event broadcast programming as a companion to live sporting events. They're going to do the bump. Oh, man. Now that I would actually want to watch, because I feel like they would actually take that seriously, which sounds kind of bad, because it sounds like WWE doesn't take the bump seriously. But like, okay, you know what though? You know what? Because in the Vince McMahon era, bro, we have to keep considering this. Vince, I feel like he really, thinking about it, man, he really dropped the ball on a lot of stuff. Like, he was doing well in a lot of different facets, but he really dropped the ball in many different areas. In terms of building the matches and building the wrestlers and, you know, just having like well, no, because Raw had Raw Talk, and then SmackDown has the SmackDown Lowdown and all that sort of stuff. They need to bring that back. They really need to, and I don't mean like bring it back like, because they were doing it in the pandemic era, if you remember. They were doing it in the pandemic era. And that was bringing up people like Omos and Mustafa Ali and Paul Heyman and AJ Styles and that sort of stuff, and the New Day, you know, and it was really helping them build their characters. And they still do it, if I remember, because I know they got the SmackDown Lowdown. But I really think that, like, they really need to, like focus in on that, like, a lot, man. They really need to focus in on that, because I feel like it's really going to help them. It's going to help their product. I'm not saying it's going to, like, shoot them into the mainstream, but it's really going to help. It's really going to, like, add to the what's the word? The uniform of wrestling as a whole, you know? So, in terms of what they're going to be doing, I don't know what they're going to be doing, but I'm excited about it. Next, we're going to be talking about Ethan Page and how he agented, I don't know, he did his first match. He managed it? Well, agent, what does agent mean? I guess manage, but then it's like, I don't know. Anyway, his first AEW match, and he wants the longest career humanly possible in the company. During a podcast appearance to promote AEW's debut in Toronto this week, Ethan Page revealed that he recently got to agent his first match in AEW and hopes to do more of it in the future. Page didn't say which match and when, but used the experience to express his desire to be in AEW as long as he can, even if it's not in the ring. Talking about the future of the company, he said, "The potential is unlimited, and I don't just mean on screen. I mean behind the scenes too. I recently got to agent a match, put the headset on, and get to do that live. That was an experience that I hope to be able to do." Okay, put the headset on. So he's not like calling it. Okay, so he didn't manage it, I guess. What does that mean? Put the headset on and get to do that live. What does that mean? I genuinely don't know what that means. What does that mean? Does that mean he was like, hey, go over here, hey, like do that? But that's not, but is that what you do? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I love writing. I love being creative. I hope I have the longest career humanly possible at AEW and not just on screen. Okay. I mean, I love hearing about this. This is good because this is what I was talking about, yesterday? When I was like, oh, you don't want a bunch of writers who only write for, like, daytime TV shows or, like, dramas and stuff. You want people who know the product, have experience in the product, love the product. That is a very, 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 very crucial thing to have, okay? You don't want someone, this is the same thing I was talking about with Tony Khan. You don't want someone who doesn't know anything about the product and doesn't care and is only looking to make the most amount of money possible. You want someone who is so passionate and loves the product so much that all they want is good to come out from the product. You know? You don't want Ethan Page to be like, oh, I've never watched wrestling and I don't care about the women's matches and I don't like this and that sort of stuff. You want them to be as passionate about wrestling as they are about doing stuff outside of wrestling. You know what I mean? You want that, the love and the passion and the heart to be there, because that equates to better shows and stuff. It equates to more like well thought out matches and everything. So hearing Ethan Page talk like this and talk about, oh, I want to be here for a really long time and I want to do more stuff like this and I'm really creative. This is good. This is good for him. It's good for AEW. It's good for the matches. It just bodes well for everybody involved, you know? So I'm really looking, now obviously, I mean, my man, looking at him now, he's in the prime of his goddamn life, you know? So I want him to, obviously, you want him to be healthy and you want him to wrestle and you want him to be happy. But I mean, after all that's said and done, yeah, after the happiness blows over, you want him to be backstage and be like, all right, this is what I did and it worked for me, so I want everybody else to do it, you know? So I'm really happy when stuff like this happens, like when you hear like certain wrestlers are managing like certain matches and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like, it's just really good for everybody all around, you know? It's just really good for everything, you know? So next, we're going to be talking about Sammy Guevara and how he's done focusing on negativity and he won't comment on the Andrade AEW altercation. On the latest episode of his vlog, Guevara briefly addressed the situation with Andrade. Quote, I know some people want me to comment on what exactly happened backstage at AEW Dynamite, Guevara said, but man, I'm done focusing on the negativity. I feel like when you are on this trajectory to where I'm headed, there's going to be people that are going to do everything in their power to try to drag you down to their level. And I know I'm above that, so I'm not going to focus on any of that bullshit. I'm going to focus on where I'm headed. They say sky's the limit, but there's a whole universe out there, and that's where I'm headed. I'm not going to focus. I'm not going to comment on any of the bullshit. Guevara said he'll instead focus on the things he's grateful for in life, like his health, his wife, Ty Mello, and his job with AEW and his fans. And then Andrade was sent home in the confrontation. So you can't really blame Sammy in this regard. You can't. For some reason, he was like, there's going to be people that are going to do everything in their power to try to drag you down to their level. I'm not wavering. I think he started it. And now he's trying to be like, oh, I'm above all that, and oh, I'm a better person because of it, and I'm going to be the bigger. No, you started it. You were like, fuck you, you're a jobber. Go back to AEW. Go back to WWE and all that. Like, bro, you started it. You can't sit here and be the catalyst and then be like, whoa, take it easy, man. I'm just a guy. Like, no. You're just as much of a shit stirrer as everybody else, okay? Like, I'm not saying that you were, like, talking shit to him or anything like that, but I'm saying that, like, you were the one it was your tweet. Your tweet was the one that started it off. You can't just sit here and deny that that's what happened, all right? If you started it, okay. Maybe in the context of certain situations, you don't have to finish it, but if you started it, it's your fault. Like, you could argue that it was also Andrade. It is. That's why I keep fucking fly. Get out of here. You can argue that it's a two-way street and then Andrade didn't help and Sammy didn't help, But Sammy, I will die on this hill. Sammy started it, all right? He did not have to say anything. He could have said absolutely nothing and let Andrade dig himself into a hole. But he started it, okay? And it didn't bode well for anybody, all right? And now all of a sudden he's like, I'm a good guy. Everybody, please don't come for me. Like, bro, fuck off, all right? That's pretty much it. That's all I really have to say. Finally, WWE's new director of long-term creative, Rob Fee, already has massive backstage heat. I love his name, Rob Fee. It reminds me of Harvey Beaks with Fee and Foo. Oh, man. Fuck, I love Harvey Beaks. Ringside exclusively reported that the new director of long-term creative, Rob Fee, told people backstage at Extreme Rules that he was brought in to make sure Bray Wyatt's return went down correctly. We have since all witnessed the newly hired WWE staffer send a public happy birthday message to Tony Khan. Oh, really? Let me see. Rob Fee was recently announced as WWE's new director of long-term creative. Even AEW founder Tony Khan recently celebrated his 40th birthday. He thanks his Jaguars team, Fulham FC, and AEW as a tweet. While wishes poured in from other wrestlers and fans, one unlikely person who wished Tony Khan a happy birthday was WWE's new appointed director of long-term creative. That tweet has very interesting timing, especially since Rob Fee was just brought into WWE. This is likely why Fee's Twitter description says, Director of Long-Term Creative at WWE, Titan, Main, and Destiny. Wow. Hashtag Hooday. Oh, is it that thing? It was like, Hooday think gonna beat the... Is it that? Tweets are mine, not the company's. Okay. All right. I don't read too much into it. What's the big deal? He's wishing happy birthday to my man. What's the big deal? Who cares? Okay. Where am I? We were told by a tenured member of the staff that Rob Fee has some massive heat. In fact, he's also taking credit for Bray Wyatt's return in a lot of ways. Quote, between telling everyone backstage at Raw how great he is because of Bray's return and this, he's not making a lot of friends around here, one source said. He was so arrogant to the writers, talking down to everyone as if he was the boss. We were also told that, quote, he treated assistants like pieces of shit. He spoke down to most every writer on staff. On top of that, Rob Fee, quote, takes credit for the Bray Wyatt return. As Ringside News exclusively reported, Bray Wyatt's WWE return was already in the pipeline prior to Vince McMahon's retirement. This was not something that Triple H or Rob Fee threw together in a couple of months. Bray Wyatt's WWE deal was nearly closed up when Mr. McMahon stepped down, with only a few minor points and the actual debut date to sort out. Listen, Rob Fee's not really helping himself. WWE's new director of long-term creative, Rob Fee, isn't making any friends with the company. He also told the Heat assistants. Okay, so yeah, he's not really helping himself. He's not helping himself by being like, oh yeah, I did this and I did that, and oh, you guys should listen to me and that sort of stuff. It's not helping. I don't think that you should be doing that. I think that, especially since he just got signed on, it would probably be best to be humble, And I mean, you can really do that for like everybody. I think it's best for everyone if you just stay humble and you don't make it seem like you are the be all and end all. That doesn't really help you. Even if you were the guy who did it, let everybody else come to you and be like, hey, you're cool, and then be like, no. But then again, is that like humble? No, I mean, listen to me. Don't be that guy. Just don't be that guy. As much as you want to be that guy, and I know some of you out there that are watching this that are like, no, I have to tell everybody. Everybody has to know about me. I'm the greatest. Like, bruh, shut up. Shut up. It's better to close your mouth and have people think you're stupid than to open your mouth and prove them right. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. But you should be able to take that, put it on a t-shirt, and sell it. That doesn't make any sense either, okay? Listen, if you're Rob Fee, Mr. Fee, if you're watching this, maybe shut your goddamn mouth next time, all right? Maybe bite your goddamn tongue and shut the fuck up, all right? And let everybody else walk around and let them believe whatever they believe. You believe it. You can believe it all you want. Believe, like Naruto, believe it, okay? But you don't have to go around telling everybody else about it. No, I have to tell them, because I'm really good, and they have to know about me, and I'm really good. Like, bro, shut up. Shut up. Because then they're going to fire you. And then you're going to be like, they didn't see my vision. Like, shut up. All right? God. What do we talk about? Warner Brothers Discovery is working with AEW on figuring out new content that's not in a wrestling ring. I can't wait to see what they're going to do. I have no idea what that entails, but I'm excited to see what that means. Ethan Page agents his first AEW match, and he wants the longest career humanly possible in the company. You need guys like Ethan. He cares. Okay, you want somebody who has a nickname called All Ego, okay, to be agenting. I don't really think that is the proper pronunciation, but I don't really know, to be honest. No, but I am actually really happy for him. I'm glad that he is actually very passionate about this sort of stuff. And you want guys like him. You want guys who are very passionate and actually care, because that means that they're gonna do a whole lot to make sure that they don't mess up anything, in terms of booking and stuff. Sammy Guevara is done focusing on the negativity. I still think that at the end of the day, he played a hand in it. And now he's trying to be the good guy in all of it, despite the fact that he started it. Like, bro, Sammy, eat my ass, man. Like, you're just as much of a shit stirrer as everybody else. You think I'm stupid, man. And WWE's new director of long-term creative has backstage heat. Maybe just shut up. That's just a thought. Maybe just shut the hell up and just do your job, all right? Do your goddamn job. Stop talking shit. Shut up. And keep your goddamn head down, all right? That's just me. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode. Shouts out to everybody who stopped by. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. And as always, big hugs. Big hugs all around.